G'day, Tragic here, and something a bit different. This is just something that I thought some people might like. Basically, there's a game called Android Netrunner, which you're all probably aware of. Very good game. And there's a fantastic plugin for Octagon by a mate of mine called Database Zero, which is extremely good. But I have a friend, and he has a Mac, and he just can't get it to work, and he doesn't want to install virtual machines or any of that kind of stuff. So he asked me to make a Lackey plugin for ANR, and I said, sure, why not? So I have, and we've been using it, and it's working fine. And just before, so I thought I would offer it to the community. You know, if people want to use it, they can. I would strongly recommend, if you can, to use the Octagon one. It's very actively developed. It's very, very advanced. Octagon and Lackey have a completely different philosophy about virtual tabletops. Lackey is zero automation by design. I mean, absolutely none. So it's exactly like playing physically with cards. But, and because of that, it's not as user friendly. But the point is, it's actually a Mac native application, and it also runs on iPad. So, yeah, well, that's about it. And it runs on PC and Linux, and it's got save and load, and it's not installed, so it can run off USBs. You know, you can take it as a portable and just plug it into anywhere you want to play, and blah, blah, blah. And there's lots of things that are very good about Lackey. Anyway, so I'm just going to show you the plugin. And just remember, this is just for private use with me and my friends, so I probably won't be updating this, nothing like the speed that Database Zero is going to be updating Octagon, but I will be updating it, kind of like I do with my Lord of the Rings one. At the moment, it is 100% up to date with Future Proof, I think it's called. No, what the hell is it called? I've forgotten the name of the latest pack. Hang on. Double Time. That's not Double Time. Fear and Loathing. Seriously, it's a mental deficiency that I've had to live with since birth. But anyway, Fear and Loathing is what it's up to. Now, there is a sort of rule with FFG virtual games, is that the virtual cards can't be released until at least 6 months after the physical cards are released. So that's been respected in this plugin for the public release with you guys. And I will not release the cards early, but if you have a play around, you could probably figure out how to replace them with your own scans pretty easy. Now, well, that's about it. So let's see this happening, and Let's do it, shall we? Firstly, just download Lackey from LackeyCCG.com, and you'll end up with a zip file. I'm doing this on Windows, and just extract it wherever you are, and you'll get this directory. There's no install, you just run it from the directory. So come in here and run Lackey. Like so. Don't shut startup. And then what you want to do is you just want to click on plugins up the top here, and in the thread that you probably saw this post at, you'll see a text link, or a link. Just right click on copy it, and then just click this button, paste auto update URL, dink, and then click install, and it'll just download all the necessary parts. And that's it. That's all you have to do. It's a small plugin. It's rather simple. It probably needs some tweaking as you know, as I keep playing with it, but it's completely serviceable as it is right now. So after this loads, I'll just walk you through the plugin and how to use it, and then well, that's it really, isn't it? So yeah. So, it's a lovely day today. It's very, very hot over here in Australia, but kind of weird hot because it's like raining constantly. So it's really sticky. It's Not cool. Literally not cool, because I'm so funny. Ah, right, it's done. Okay, so load the A&R plugin, bonk, and this is what you'll see. Okay, now this is just the chat log, and you'll see this little plus button if you want to see some. I've given you some buttons. This area here with the sort of, I don't know what you call it, black grid with the blue lines, is your hand area, and this is where you actually play the game. So first things you want to do, I just like to go to preferences and make sure you set your name. I'm going to call myself Tragic, and you can select a color, and this color is important. I'll select orange and go save. Miscellaneous. I don't change any of those things, do I? Yeah, I turn off show mouse over tooltips. Preferences, I like to click on high performance, blah, 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 blah. In key bindings, you can set your own key bindings to adding all the counters and, changing the turns and all that. So that's all configurable. In appearance, I like to come down and go, make card viewer image pop out on mouse over, untick that, click, and then you're ready to go. Okay, so also if you go into preferences and you go into avatar, you can save a, load up an avatar or what you want to do, or you can just load an avatar from a URL. And there should be 100 by 100 images. Anyway, whatever. You need to set up an avatar and a username before you can connect to the server, I think. Anyway, so let's just have a quick look at the plugin. Over here, underneath the card viewer, I like to stretch the card viewer out nice and large. You have the 2 player zones, okay? And this is a test dummy, so you can play yourself to do deck testing. You've got clicks, agenda points, links, hand size, and tags / bad publicity. And that's just to record some of the stats. So let's just go into the deck editor, and I've given you 2 core set decks, and these are actual decks that I made in the first couple of days of owning the game, way back when it was very first in pre-release. So yeah, I don't know if they're good anymore or they're good for core set decks, whatever. So let's just load up the runner deck, and you'll note that as soon as you load or you mouse over cards or whatever, you'll see green text up here downloading the cards. So then you just click the load entire deck to you, and you'll note that there's a tab for identity and a tab for the deck. And also, if you look at the deck editor, you'll note that I haven't entered all the data because I just can't be bothered. It's such a chore. But I've put in all you really need. Remember, most people are going to be using Card Game Database or Meteor or whatever deck builders anyway. But you can sort it by name, where you just click on it, or you can sort it by set or type or influence or faction or alliance, which is what I've called Corpo or Runner. And that's about it. But also over here, you can click on, say, contains influence 3, and we only want to see alliance runners. And that's, and so you can do little modifications to your deck in here quite easily, or you can just say, I only want to see agendas, and I only want to see stuff from, I don't know, NBN, blah, 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 blah. But what you'll probably be doing to make your decks, because none of the large websites support exporting to this. If the plugin gets popular, they'll probably add it. But the easiest thing to do is you just type in, so if you want account siphon, you just type in ACC, and as you type it, reduces the list, and there's account siphon. Anyway, enough of that. So we just click load entire deck to me, and then you can just drag out the card. Now you can see that card's showing grey. It's because it's still downloading. I might just pause it while it's finishing downloading. Okay, so it's still downloading a few, but McAfee's turned up so we can start. So basically, just like in Lackey, there's a little plus button up here, and it's just normal Lackey functionality, which means that there's a scale. You can change the scale of the thing. Click on 100% to set it to 100. And you can also use the mouse. You can also zoom out completely from the deck, from the thing. And this is a good way of doing agendas if you're out of room. You'll note that there isn't a spot on the deck to put your agendas, because agendas often have, abilities that require counters, so they need to sit on the table. Anyway, whatever, regardless of all that. So we just draw our first 5 by clicking the draw 5, and we're ready to go. This is not a bad hand. We've got an easy mark, we've got an icebreaker, we've got a link, and we've even got a modded, so that's not a bad hand at all. So we're going to keep this hand. Now just click over to the test dummy and we'll show the setup of the corporation, because the corporation's a little bit more complicated than the runner. First we'll just load the entire corpo deck, and again it's just going to download. And while we're doing it, we're just going to click on this little button here and go to tokens, and we're going to grab just move this out a bit, we're going to grab the HQ zone, we'll grab the R&D zone, we'll grab the archive zone, and we'll grab the remote zone. And there's also a corporate helper card if you want to use it, and the runner can drag out the runner helper card if they want to use it. Well, I'll just let that download. Okay, so that's finished downloading. I noticed an error. There's only 46 cards in this deck, because when I made it, I misspelled Adonis the first time. I fixed it a bit later, so there you go. That's why it's called beta, basically, because it's beta-ish. Anyway, so back to where we've got our 49 cards now. So let's draw our 5 cards in, and I sort of ripped this off Database Zero's version of the game, just because I thought it was a really cool idea. Okay, so the way Lackey works is whatever card you pick up, and put it down, it's always on top, just like real cards. So if I want to put HB on top of that one, you'd have to pick it up and drop it. So it's good, you just get your things set up. And you're ready to start playing. So, how do you actually use it? First thing, give everyone their 5 credits. But the important thing is, well, this is an alright hand, we're going to keep this hand. So what we'll do, we'll just drag this out. Oh, another good thing is, you go +3 clicks and plus 3 clicks, for corporation, plus 4 clicks for thingo. And if a lot of experienced players don't use clicks, I might use tokens for clicks to make it a bit easier, but I've just done it this way for now. So we just go okay, so that's click 1, and we'll just go bump, and we'll just go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then discard it. You can see it's all manual, And then we want to do a wall of static. So what we're going to do is you actually hold down Control and flip it around inside the in your hand, and then drag it to the table. Then double click it, right click, and go lock. And that's all she wrote. Okay, and I'll go, might just drag another remote server out. Boom. And I'll pull this guy out here. Oh, actually, I won't do that. I'll just use my last click to go into credit. Okay, and that's the end of my turn. And you've got the turn counter down here. These are all hotkeyed up here if you want to use them. A lot of experienced players that, you know, they don't keep track of all that. You've also got the action phases and all that. Okay, and then the runner's turn has their turn. So like, she's got 4 clicks. So what she's going to do with her first click is she's going to do a run. So she's going to go F1, and then she can just draw on the table. And this is why choosing a colour is important. You don't have to do that if you've got voice comms, it's just the way you do. The guy's in, so he'd probably press, you could either speak, or I've, you know, made a button that says you're in.
Access granted.
And then you can just hold down Control and click on the card to reveal it. That's 4 credits. And she's going to spend those 4. Oops, sorry. And trash that card. And he'd just drag it to his discard pile, and so forth and so forth. You know, it's really not that hard. There is a couple of things that are a little bit confusing. So say, let's just go to the really important thing is that if you're playing ice or playing anything face down, you need to hold down Control and flip the card before you drag it to the table. Okay? And then if it's ice, you also need to right click and hit lock, because there's otherwise, like say that's the first thing I installed. I didn't do this because I forgot to do it, but tap, that would give me an extra credit, right? But then at the beginning of my turn, I could hit refresh all and it'll untap everything, but it'll also untap all the ice unless you've got it locked. Anyway, so what's interesting though, if you're playing the runner and you need to access their R&D or access their hand, this is how you do it. Right next to where your cards are, it should say your name, and you can actually, the little arrows, click the arrow and you'll select the other player, and that's actually his hand. And then all you need to do is just, so I want to select this one, I just drag it out into the table. Okay, well that's not agenda, so you can put it back in, and then the corporation can shuffle it, and you know, then you could do it again if you've got 2 scours or whatever. And that's how you do checking of the hand. And if you are the runner and you need to test their, you know, R&D, like say we went to R&D and we got in, you just, again, click on the thing to go over to the test dummy, or you can, on the test dummy itself, it will say deck. Okay? So you just deck and you go reveal to all, where is it? Reveal to others top 1. It's a little bit fiddly. And that'll show you the top card of his R&D. And you've got all these functions here like top, bottom. So when done, send to top, send to bottom, and send to deck, discard, or whatever. And you've got shuffle and don't shuffle. So if you're scouring the top 3, you would just go reveal to others top 3, and bang, they're the top 3 cards, and none of them are things. And you know, if you've got like something that will reorder them, you can actually drag it around. This card here, that one here, is the first card. So if I dragged it like that, that would change the order if I didn't shuffle it. Or I could just set it to shuffle, or whatever. And that's pretty much how you use the plugin. So what to take away from it is that if you're a corporation and you're playing ice or something, you've got to control click while it's in your hand, drag to the table, untapped, then tap it, and then lock it, and that's it. And one more thing I want to talk about is the counters. You'll note that I haven't used the coin counter, and I've used generic looking counters because I find them easier to read. So we've got the power counters are these ones, and virus counters are these ones. And I've done them like that for a couple of reasons. Like say we've been advancing this ice, it comes in like that. And say this was an upgrade that could be advanced as well, you can stack them nice and neatly like that, and it doesn't take up as much space, because if it was like in the middle of the card or whatever, it would take up a lot of space. And so purple's for violet, for viruses. The white is for credits, obviously. Like and what else have I done? I forgot now. Oh yeah, tags, bad publicity, and brain damage. Okay, so brain damage, I'm actually tracking with big red ones that you put on the runner. And even though I have a tag section for the in the player stats, like I also made an icon for it. So the green ones are tags. So she's now got 3 tags, right? But because it's generic, if you want, you could say that that's her link, if you want to make it easier to read link, or, you know, that's why they're generic. So they can mean anything you want. But also, I've also put the bad publicity, and the way I've done bad publicity, like say he has too bad publicity on the corporation, I've actually set it up so the idea is that the runner can actually add the bad publicity to her character, right? Because when you're doing runs, bad publicity is basically just a credit. So you can just go, okay, well that's I'll pay 2 credits, and I'll use 2 bad publicity. And then, you know, and then after the run's over, you can just add the bad publicity back, and you know what value it is because it's written in the tags bad publicity section for the other player. And that's pretty much how the game works. You know, you just do your thing. Now obviously the scale I've got the cards is it's a little bit too large, but again, you can hit the scale button and set it to whatever scale you like. Maybe 80 would be a nice scale. Yeah, set it to 80 maybe would be a nice scale, because that'll give you 3 stacks for that. And that would give them enough room to have quite a few stacks of ice without having anything overlapping. Anyway, whatever. That's the A&R plugin. Feel free to use it or don't. And, well, that's it, isn't it? See you later.